here at Dundas Square in Toronto at this demonstration in solidarity with the Libyan people against the dictatorship of Colonel Gaddafi. And you can hear people shouting in the background. They want freedom and they want it now. I think there might be a lot of oppression in the Muslim world due to socioeconomic factors. There's a lot of disparity between the wealthy elites and the poor, the working poor. I think there's a lot of people who are under the age of 30. Majority of the population is under the age of 30 in a lot of these countries. And when they go to school and get a good education, and then they graduate and they can't find a job, and they can't get married, and in many places with rising food costs, they can't even eat, and they can't get things done without bribing officials, like, it leads to a lot of frustration and despair that people start to feel like they have to fight. Absolutely, I empathize with them on the level of, just understanding what it's like to feel like my human dignity is not being respected. At the same time, I can't empathize on the level of just being deprived on that scale and feeling that hopeless, because I've grown up in a place where I could technically be poor and yet never be hungry. I got a good education and I got a good job after I graduated university. There's so many benefits here. I feel more like a sense of responsibility than based on compassion for those people rather than empathy with their plight. I'm tweeting descriptions of what I see, and suddenly people have started to follow me from like random places just to, I guess, follow what's going on the ground. And in general, everybody just seems to be interested in justice and human rights.
You were born in Libya?
I was actually born in Toronto, okay. And I'm not Libyan. I'm actually Indian.
Oh, that's good.
Of Indian heritage. I'm Canadian. But,
okay.
But I just feel like what's been happening in Egypt and Tunisia and Yemen and Bahrain and now Libya is really important for everybody concerned with human rights and freedom. So some random Toronto Star reporter just decided to interview me, and he was asking me how long have I been here. I think he assumed I was Libyan. So when I told him I was Canadian and of Indian heritage, and then he started smiling, and it was kind of funny. If people look at demonstrations like the one that we're at and wonder whether they're radical or not, I would contend that they're not radical at all. They're essentially democratic. They're radically democratic. I think radicalism is really a process by which people adopt beliefs or take actions that go to an extreme away from the mainstream. This is mainstream dissent. This is advocacy. This is at the part of a tradition of democratic action in North America. I think when some young Canadian Muslims begin to lose confidence that the rule of law can be a way for them to get the justice that they seek, then they might begin to consider more radical options. I think people here, when they see injustice in other places, they see it as something to oppose as human beings, because we're all human beings. Our shared humanity calls us to take responsibility and look out for each other and have each other's back. So that's kind of what we're looking at, and you can see people are getting closer and closer here. Like, this is a good feeling. This is a positive feeling. It's passionate. It's energetic. It's nonviolent. It's the best of what it means to. It reminds us of the best in ourselves. I think events in other places in Muslim-majority countries have affected me as a young Canadian Muslim in a lot of different ways. I mean, I feel a lot of solidarity with people on the basis of our shared humanity as well as our shared faith. What comes to my mind when I think of extremism? I mean, you could probably put me when I was 16 in, an encyclopedia entry on extremism and say Exhibit A. Like, I think that's kind of what I was. I mean, I was extreme about everything. I was extreme about cleaning my room. I was extreme about how I played sports. I would foul out of basketball games. And I was extreme about my attitude towards religion. I was extreme about eating. I mean, I think we live in an extreme time where people take extreme measures to pursue the things that they want. And in terms of how we transform ourselves, how we look, in terms of how far we go to get what we want. And I think extremism is really dangerous, and we need to be vigilant about protecting ourselves and others from its consequences.